Welcome to the Primitive Republic podcast, where we talk about the most primitive aspects of man to live off the land, hunt, and sustain oneself. At the core of our humanity, there are things that drive us. A sense to turn back the clock, to get away from modern life, and search for something primitive. Every week we talk to like-minded individuals that are looking to connect and create a community of people, a republic. Now your host, Aaron Schmaus. These brownies are on point though.
Hell yeah. We needed these to get us going because we were tired. We got to get a sugar rush.
Yeah, they're so magical.
So, it's really a good thing that you're not like my brother, because eating brownies with hippies is probably not a smart move.
Yeah, we're doing white people shit. Yeah.
I just want my regular brownies, you know. Like, I like to keep my things separated, you know. Weed on the side, brownies on the side.
On the plate.
Yeah.
But chocolate with weed.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
You know,
That was awesome.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how to really say this without just sounding all fucked up. But
Yeah, boy.
you sucked on Jason's ass.
Hey.
How do you feel about that, Jason?
Bro, I feel pretty mellow now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I feel like I
I
just
can't
got
wait
divorced.
to see what kind of marks are all over it later.
Yeah, bro, you're rough. Yeah.
So let me preface this. So Jason's got all kinds of back issues and stuff like that, or hip issues, or I don't think they really defined what it was.
My bro, I got issues that need tissue. Shit, we don't know what it is.
He's got issues in his tissues.
I got issues. They multiplying.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for real. And so anyway, Amy is a massage therapist and like
Yogi.
all around, a yogi and healer and like all kinds of stuff like that. And so like she did cupping. So yeah, Jason started doing yoga. So this would be a perfect place to splice in a little bit.
Yeah.
Of that.
Yeah. Miss me with that bullshit, son.
Yeah.
He's doing
Bro.
what position was that? When
It's called
downward
down
dog?
face in the dog hair.
Yeah.
No,
That was like
that was
trying to
supposed-
protect my
that
back
would have
door.
been child's pose, but
It didn't look
unfortunately
like
there
it.
was dog hair.
Say, son, calm down.
It looked
Don't
like you were
judge
trying
me.
to expose the back door.
Usually when
Yeah,
I
boy.
do hands-on assist, it does not include pulling dog hairs out of someone's mouth. But
Whoa, fuck, that
You know.
dog just got me.
Yeah.
where is it?
more
Oh,
There's a
ways
big
than
ass
one.
wolf in the
that's just
window.
so cute.
Yeah, she's probably gonna go nuts because she's outside by herself.
We can let her in.
Yeah, we probably should let her in.
I'll let her in.
So I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and, let the goat out of the bag, man.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with this Younghoe dude?
What?
Younghoe
His
or
name's Young
Younghoe? Dang it.
Younghoe.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm not on this level right now.
You're all right.
Yeah.
Younghoe Ebenezer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I gotta say I was so disappointed that I didn't get to see Younghoe because I've been seeing him.
Online.
Online for like a while now. I don't know how old he is, but
Year and a half approximately.
yeah.
I imagine he was born on Thanksgiving, not this past Thanksgiving, but the one before that. So
Heck yeah. So, tell us about Younghoe. Where did this idea come from?
like
Yeah.
the particularly Younghoe idea, or just the
Who is this hoe?
Who is this hoe? Well, he's a pygmy goat,
Hey.
and originally, so I used to have like the world's best dog, and I think I had him for about 8 years. About 2 years in, I realized he was the world's best dog, and I was like, I could never get another dog as good as him. So, what do I wish that he could do that he can't do? And the only thing I could think of was maybe if only he could rock climb. That might make him a little cooler. And I was like, naturally, I'm going to rescue a wild mountain goat for my next animal companion.
I feel like that might be slightly illegal.
well, well, as what actually happened, as the story goes, uh, whenever my dog ended up dying, everyone was asking me, "When are you getting another dog? When are you getting another dog?" La di da. And I was like, I don't really want another dog. I was like, I just want a goat if I were, get another animal. And I told this one lady that, and she gasped. She's like, "Oh!" She's like, "My neighbor just had 6 baby goats, like last week." She's like, "You gotta go check them out." And I was like, I don't. She's like, "No, at least just go play with them. They're really fun." I was like, "Okay, sure, sure." And I thought to myself, I was like, I need to make sure my goat doesn't. If I'm gonna have one, I don't want multiples, so I need an aloof goat. I need one that's not gonna be like constantly chewing on everything. Because if I'm taking him climbing, he can't chew on my ropes.
Yeah,
You
no
know?
kidding.
Oh, dude,
And
that
I
would
so-
never even
suck.
thought about that.
Yeah. So I was like, so I thought of those things, and I was like, and I need him to be like, like pretty.
Man, that hurt my stomach, man. All I
innovative.
saw was broken ropes and the side of cliffs, man.
He chews on prey anything.
He doesn't.
so-
He doesn't really chew
Oh
on
yeah, he
anything
ripped
that's.
your ass out of your pants because of that.
Yeah, he's tugging on Jackson's butthole, making
My
it bigger.
Wrangler jeans.
But
That's awesome.
anyways, so I show up there with like no expectations. I was like, either way, cute baby goats should be fun. And she's like pointing out the ones that have already been adopted, like this one's adopted, that one's adopted, blah blah blah. She's like, "Wait, where's the other one?" She starts looking around. She opens up the pen he's supposed to be in. We don't see a goat. She's like, "Huh." She opens up the one next to it, and she's like, "How did you get in here?" And there's like hog wire between the two of them, so it's like there's no gaps. I'm like, So I started liking him in that moment because he reminded me of myself when
Mischievous.
I was young, and I used to be sent to bed for nap time, and I was like, oh. Now I'd tie the fire escape rope to my headboard and like climb out of the second story window to go play in the woods. So I was like, he kind of seems like that. And then I got to talking with her, and there was like the 2 moms that had each had like 3 babies the same day. They were sisters, and so she was talking about this one chews a lot, and she's like, this one doesn't, and his mom didn't chew as much as the other one. I was like, okay, that's a good sign.
This is fucking like traits and goats.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's how you like breed different animal traits and stuff like that for different,
That is too crazy, man.
different
Yeah.
sects of animals like German Shepherd or, and then eventually they ended up getting inbred and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah, you don't want to take it too far, but
Oh,
you
like
know.
fucking China, fucking little monkey people and shit.
Oh,
monkey
is that the
people.
ones they're trying to make
bro.
them to harvest
Yeah,
the
they split them.
organs?
They split it. The
My
the,
dad
ce-
was
the,
telling
the
me
cells
about
and put the DNAs together. So yeah, it was successful, and they said they were destroying it after 20 days or some shit.
Hmm.
So or 20
I
weeks.
don't know that I believe China. Motherfuckers were saying that we got COVID from bats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't believe anything they say.
You
I
can't,
know,
Propaganda.
right?
you can't believe.
Communist.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Chinese at least put some thought into it. I mean, like when AIDS came out, fucking our government was saying it was because some dude fucked a monkey. I mean, yeah, man. So, yeah, we're not very creative over here, bro.
Although I do have to
Fucking
do
monkey
some
fuckers.
research on this, but I had heard that syphilis came from people fucking sheep.
What the hell?
I'm not even joking. I'm not joking.
Oh my god!
Like the sheep herders and stuff like that in like England, Britain. So
Some
Dan-
lonely motherfuckers out in the middle of a field.
Dan McElinden's probably gonna laugh his ass off at this because
I wish Robert was here.
Ireland is still not all that great with England and Britain and stuff like that. But yeah, apparently they used to fuck sheep and stuff like that, and that's how they got syphilis. I don't know if that's true. Somebody look it up. Let me know
Who
because
Well, I'm just
That's
more
hilarious.
curious to know, like, what porn site are you watching all that shit from, bro? You
No.
went balls deep into that one.
now, so I'm gonna set myself up for this. But,
Yeah, you did.
But no, I was watching John Leguizamo, his stand up, and he was going through like the whole history of like humans and indigenous people and the Latin cultures and all that kind of stuff. And that's something that he brought up. And then somebody else, I don't remember who it was, had said something like that too. And I was like, is there something real about this? Like people really fuck sheep, and that's what
Oh, I think so.
I mean.
I wish Robert was here. This guy who goes to the climbing gym, he's this old dude, and he's like hilarious, but he knows so many facts. And he was talking about like it's in certain place, like you like I don't remember what state or whatever, but if a single man's not allowed to own sheep or something.
That's probably Wyoming.
I don't remember which place it is, but that was a law at some point, you know.
I will almost guarantee that that's Wyoming because we used. I remember when we were growing up, we used to call them sheep fuckers. And then what was it? Brokeback Mountain. Can I kind of confirm that shit?
My God.
As sheep herders. Well, I guess I don't know that's any better, but
Guess what my last name is?
oh, Shepherd. That's right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, so Jackson's over there.
No.
Is that why the dreads? Is that why?
Curly locks, a
semblance-
bully.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't know it was Shepherd. I thought it was Hooligan because on Facebook it's Hooligan.
He keeps the Velcro gloves in his back pocket. Velcro gloves and you did bring up those like muck boots or whatever.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so that way you could put the back legs in there and they can't
The
move.
fuck, son? What is wrong with you, bro? Bro.
That's why in Wyoming they tuck their jeans inside their boots.
Oh,
So it's easier to put the hooves in there.
man, you know too much about sheep fucking, bro. I'm getting worried.
Oh,
Shit.
my boy Dylan, he lives down there in Wyoming right now, and his
I
stepson.
feel like he's saying, I just want to know for a friend. You
No,
know?
no,
Asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend.
I know
real-
because of a friend.
No, bro.
No, real
Like,
talk.
Spit it out, bro.
his stepson. Have you
got
ever
caught
heard?
fucking a sheep? Is that what you're gonna tell
No,
me?
they bite the balls off of the sheep.
What?
Who does?
Have you ever heard of the Basque people? I guess it's like a French region or something like that,
Yeah.
like
No,
in
they're
Europe or
nasty.
something. Well, they carried it over to the United States for some fucking unknown reason, and so his stepson's dad is like Basque, I guess, and.
Jeez
Yeah,
Louise.
they still to this day they'll bite the balls off of the baby lambs or whatever.
Why?
And I'm
done with
thank
that.
you. I've been trying to look it up because I'm trying to figure out what in the fuck you have to be thinking.
No, sir,
that,
what in the for real
like-
fuck?
It's like primitive
It-
as fuck.
it's
I
like
don't
they're
know.
they're giving the sheep a Hummer, and it's like,
Oh,
with teeth.
dude.
I mean, I think they missed the part where you're not supposed to
Oh.
use teeth. But but no, like they still bite the balls off a sheep. So there's some fucked up shit out there that we just
Bro, I don't
We
think
don't
we
know.
should be talking about this, man. I feel
We're
like
warming ourselves up.
yeah, bro. I feel like Younghoe, man. He's like over there, like in a corner, doing, he's all scared and shit. Like I'm not a sheep, but
I know.
if
Well, when
I'm the last one here, bro, my balls are gone, son.
I know. I did get them removed.
Oh fuck, you bit him off?
No.
What the fuck? Oh,
No,
man.
but I cried that night. I felt so bad. I was like, what have I done?
yeah, that's because he went and hid
I
in the
used
corner.
to-
He's like, you fucking
No.
betrayed me.
No, I used to cuddle. I would cuddle with him every night for like an hour. or
Chris
so.
going to cut off other friends' balls.
Well, I had to think about it differently. I was like, okay, wait a second. I was like,
Oh,
because like
dude.
they turn kind of like they start
So is
pissing
that
all
the
over
hoe part?
themselves.
Like I'm a man with no balls, I'm a hoe. A young hoe, because I lost my balls so early in life. Like,
No, it's because he
damn.
has these bare spots on his knees
Uh-huh.
from spending so much time on his knees.
Oh hell.
He really does, because he like goes. They lay down knees first, front knees first, and so he's got bare patches on his knees.
That's not really where he
That's
got
the
his
hoe
name,
part.
right?
That's the hoe part. Golly.
From a baby, that motherfucker was on his knees all the time.
Golly.
Young as fuck, let me tell you.
Oh, that's messed up. So where did the name Younghoe come from?
Okay, so it's Korean, and I guess when I first met him, then I decided I was going to take him home. And then I was like, well, I should come up with a good name.
That's
I wanted
right.
it to be
do know some
meaningful.
Korean hoes.
Yeah, our dad did too. Apparently.
Yeah, apparently. I'm not the oldest son.
Apparently, we have a
I'm the middle
brother.
child.
Nah, real talk. Apparently, we have a brother in South Korea.
I don't doubt it, bro.
That's what my mom was saying. She was like, "Yeah, you got a brother in South Korea."
Damn.
I don't even know how to look him up because I don't know how to speak symbols. But
Oh, man, just think if his first name was Fuking, it would be Fuking Ho. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I'm guessing his last name would be Park or something like that.
Mark,
That's a very Korean name,
Mm-hmm.
killer.
or I guess Younghoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. So what is
Yes.
what is Younghoe in Korean?
So, my old roommate, he used to like to watch football. I never really been into doing that, but I just know one day I come home and he's like, "Oh, he knew I was trying to find a name for my new goat." And then we look up on the screen and it's like Younghoe Koo is this guy's name, and I was like. I started laughing, and he was like, "You should name your goat Younghoe Koo." And I was like, "No, I'm not gonna do that,"
Yeah.
And but I kept looking up names for like another week. And I was like, nothing is good enough. And I was like, I wonder what Younghoe even means. Like, it's got to mean something. Obviously not what it means in English, right?
Right.
And so when I looked it up, it actually means like luminescent and
Oh,
vast. So like the moon, it's like. So it's
Hell
like it means
yeah.
vast and expansive and like courageous and strong, but also delicate like a petal. And I was like, huh. So that sounds kind of like a goat.
See, that's,
you
well,
know?
that sounds pretty like dope anyway, but I put all that thought into my shepherd. And a long ass time ago, we got a shepherd.
And then
And
she
I was
turned
thinking-
into a terrorist.
Apparently, bro. So like Isis is supposed to be this epic goddess or whatever of beauty or whatever, and it's supposed to be a dope thing. Like 6 months later, we're fighting ISIS over in the Middle East, and now I'm like, ISIS, and everybody's like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like it took some time for me to realize we're calling the fucking dog. Like, so now when we talk about our dog, we call her fucking Rice. Like pinche Rice. Like fuck. We can't even call her ISIS. Like it was supposed to be a pretty thing, but no.
Did Brandon tell you what we named those German Shepherd puppies?
No, but I'm scared to ask.
Dude.
Oh,
All right, so
don't get us canceled, bro.
So I talked my niece into naming one of those German Shepherd puppies Ava, and she's like, oh, that's a beautiful name. So she kept the name Ava, and she's like, so where did that name come from? And I was like, well, you heard of Hitler, right? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, well, that's a German Shepherd, and Ava Braun was his wife. And she goes, oh, you're a fucking dickhead. I was like, oh, that's what you get for not studying history. She's like, oh, you're such a dick. But yeah, I always wanted to get
go in that direction.
Oh, of course, I got a sick sense of humor.
Yeah.
So I feel so at home here.
I know, right? No, I always wanted to. So I've been watching this TV show, Lucifer.
I love that shit.
Right? That shit is hilarious. I mean,
Miss me with that bullshit.
no, dude, you will laugh.
What I thought too.
Yeah, miss me with that shit, bro.
You will laugh your ass off, and it's not like you'd think.
No.
Like it is
Bro.
not like you think. It
Oh,
is
no.
fucking hilarious.
Uh-uh.
It is-
Not inviting that shit into my life.
I'm telling you, it
Miss
is
me.
You will
Yeah.
laugh. Yeah. No juju.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Edith is so we're watching
you
watching
with
it or
me,
whatever. We're watching.
Bro, I
it.
went to this concert one time, man. Bad Bunny. Motherfucker, bro.
Bad Bunny.
Yeah, Bad Bunny, bro. Yeah, he has some dope songs, man. I know, no bullshit, but damn, son, it was sold out. He had like all the screens and all this shit. He's like dancing.
It's a he.
Yeah, it's a dude. It's like some dude from Puerto Rico or I'm probably gonna piss him off. Probably from Dominican Republic or some shit. I don't know. But yeah. So they're on this fucking stage and all this. They're doing like these blood sacrifice shits on the stage, bro. And I'm like, and then they got all the Illuminati shit all over the fucking
What the
place,
fuck?
like legit, like on kids' foreheads and shit. And I'm like, what the motherfuck did I sign up for? Because you don't think about that shit when you're listening to it, when you're,
That reminds
just
me.
jamming out.
What's that island or whatever that they go and do all that crazy shit Alex Jones was talking about?
Oh, Epstein Island or something?
No. I'm not talking about fucking kids. I'm talking about, well, I don't know. They might do that there too, but no, like they do all kinds of like crazy.
No, nigga, this wasn't bullshit. I was there at the concert. It was fucked up.
I'm not talking about bullshit. I'm talking about like that's the same kind of shit.
I thought he was throwing shade, and he was like,
No,
"Yeah,
no,
Alex
no.
Jones." I was
No.
like,
Oh,
fence
yeah.
goes up. Oh, don't call me that, son. Don't call me no conspiracy theorist.
Well, you're from Texas, so if the shoe fits.
Hey. Yeah.
No, but like they apparently, and it was proven that like a lot of these politicians and shit would go to this island, like this secret meeting or whatever.
Oh, like the Bilderberg type stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't an island, bro. That was
Oh,
somewhere
what?
like, in New York not New York, in that area over there.
Yeah. And
Yeah, all them billionaire and little kid fuckers. Yeah. Nasty ass
all
bastards.
kinds of fucking crazy shit.
Yeah. And what's going on, dude? You're talking about fucking sheep, and now we're talking about like fucking
You're
crazy
the one
kid
that
fuckers.
brought up fucking sacrificing goats and shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stick up for poor Younghoe.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Younghoe, bro. So yesterday we were doing work, like
I'm throwing luminescence on the devil shit that's going on with killing goats and shit.
Yeah, no, man, dude, Younghoe's too cool.
Yeah, I really.
I always
would
wanted to go
love to see, like, hey, so you're telling these stories or whatever, like of Younghoe. We get back on topic.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, you're telling stories about like Younghoe or whatever, and we were talking about screaming goats, and she's like, "Oh yeah, Younghoe thought that I was gonna leave him," and like all of a sudden was like, "Ah!" So, does he do that a lot?
No, it's the only time I've ever heard him do it. And taking him to go climbing with me a good bit. Usually he would, sometimes he'd like practice on steep stuff. He'd try to run up after me. Like in the beginning, he thought he could climb anything I could climb. And he would run like 12 feet up the wall, like, oh, like back down. And he's like, what is this? And he's like, how is this possible? And try again. And eventually he began to realize like some things are steep, some things are slabby. And if the angle's low enough, he could make it up and he'd kind of find his own little path. And so there's this new area they're opening up and developing for climbing. It's Table Rock State Park in South Carolina. So they call it Pumpkin Town. And me and a friend of mine went out there, and he's into doing FAs, so like first ascents. So I was like, yeah, well, there won't be many people there, so I'll just bring Younghoe along. And he's like, yeah, sounds good. And so I'm like belaying him, and he's like got a drill on him. He's going up the climbing, and he's like, drilling the hole, like putting bolts in and stuff. And it's a pretty low angle climb. There's some hard moves on it, but Younghoe ended up making it like all the way to the top of this climb where we ended up. But then
Like he's in a harness or
no,
like,
he's free soloing it, man.
Yeah, no
like,
shit.
No
Holy
pro.
like a fucking one of those bighorns, right?
No,
No,
mountain
goats. Yeah, those
well,
things are
bighorn
crazy.
sheep, they climb and stuff too a lot.
Yeah, but you're right.
But
We're
the
talking about
crazy
mountain
ones
goats.
that you normally
God.
see are like the mountain goats.
Yeah,
And,
running
I
all
mean,
the way
they'll
up
be,
a-
like hanging like by their teeth and shit like that.
He's
like
not
all
quite
stand
that
out.
wild. He's a little more domesticated than that, but he was killing it that day. And so, I get down to the ground. I rappel down off the route, and Younghoe tries to come down. He's like teeter-tottering, like
He like tries to
back
descend.
and forth. He's like gets to this part and he's scared, and he's like, oh, I don't know about that. And he's like, no, backing up. And so eventually he like runs back up to the top, and he's kind of like looking a little dodgy up there, and we were going to put up another route next to it, but we were going to end at the same ending point. So we start going down the hill a little bit, and the leaves like he looks over and he's like, ah! And he just starts screaming.
What the hell?
And it was like nonstop for like 5 minutes. And I was like, dude, and there's like the other climbers down the way. And I was like, they're not going to know what's going on over here. I was like, doesn't sound good. I know it doesn't sound good. But anyway, I was like, oh, they don't think there's a climbing accident,
Somebody's getting raped.
Right.
It's like not good, right? So I finally yelled back up to him. I was like, Younghoe. I was like, shut up. I was like, we're not leaving you. We're coming back up there to get you. And he just seemed to understand, and he got completely silent.
What if those people, the other climbers and shit, you're just walking by and you see this hippie chick screaming, and you look up and it's a fucking goat, and it's like actually like paying attention to her, like I'd be out of my element if I seen that in real life. Like, who walks a goat? I want a goat.
I definitely.
I thought
do
it was
now.
a unique thing. I was like, I like scaring the shit out of people, and then they're like faint, and so like I always wanted one of those baby goats, yeah, or fainting goats, yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that. The fainting goats or whatever. I want a screaming goat with a fainting goat, but I feel like
Someone will scream, the other will
They're
fall
gonna
over.
offset each
Yeah.
other.
yeah,
That
they
is
all
their-
set each other, but I get the
they're gonna
feeling
be
that one of them's gonna
codependent.
die because of a heart attack or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, well, they're already probably predisposed to it. Back to the inbreeding. I imagine they probably like inbred them to keep on those traits, right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty
I
sure.
would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. We were talking about
It's no
our
worse
theories.
than getting a pug and an English bulldog, though. So you do what you want.
Who has
Oh,
the English
man.
bulldog?
I don't have any. Like,
They
no,
can't
I think she's
breathe.
just saying like.
Oh
They're
yeah, because
inbred.
they're so inbred. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Exactly.
those things are like.
That shit sounds like me at night,
Oh,
bro.
I can't stand those dogs.
Fucking
They're
rattle the
cute
walls with that
puppies,
shit.
but man, they get a little older, and it's like
That's
Ugh.
ugly.
You better put
Yeah.
them on a skateboard and send them down the hill.
I know, right? I don't understand that. How are they so good at? It's like one
Their
of the.
center of gravity is low.
Hell yeah,
Yeah, but it's like they seem to want to do that.
Yeah.
bro. They're like spunky little fuckers. They just don't got a lot of juice.
They just can't breathe well.
Yeah. They run out of juice.
I feel like me and Jackson in Stanley, Idaho.
Yeah.
We're trying to walk
hike
up a hill for a fucking sunset view, and all we get is wheezing and exhaustion. And I was like, "What is going on
I was
right
just
now?"
running as fast as I could,
We
and I just
were-
thought, all of a sudden
the
I felt like I
hill
was gonna
was so
pass
high.
out. Like, no lie. I was
That's
like,
exactly
whoa,
what
I
happened.
can't. I'm not feeling any air coming in. Like, what the fuck?
Oh
yeah,
my God.
you really have to get used to the altitude.
Yeah.
It's well, you guys were probably what 7,000,
I don't
7,000
know.
feet. Yeah,
I have no
and
idea.
Greenville, South Carolina is what 2, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that
we got
that's-
high, man.
literally.
Yes.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, did you guys
Literally.
smoke up there?
No, I'm just saying literally.
Yeah.
I wonder how that would affect you.
That would be probably too much.
Smoke at high altitude.
I'm down.
Drinking
Shit.
at a high altitude. I drank one beer and I was drunk as hell. And I was like, why
Oh.
am I so drunk?
It'll
Yeah.
make you get drunk faster.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
What the hell, bro?
Yeah. So when I went to Tennessee, I think that's what really helped me. It's my with getting through Poma and stuff like that because my ability to handle alcohol at lower levels was a lot better.
Interesting.
I think. I don't know, or it could just be I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah, bro.
You
That's
never
I
know,
was
man.
thinking that, bro, and then I was
One
thinking
way or
like,
another, you were doing great with it,
Yeah, I know, right? Oh man, that was a long week.
Sounds like a placebo, bro.
I probably got 5 hours of sleep that entire week. 5.5, 6, maybe. Yeah, that was rough, and it was all networking. Like that's all. That's
Speaking of networking, okay, so like Younghoe, what's the deal? Are we gonna make him like TikTok famous?
don't
Insta
know.
famous.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
he is
I have
super
to think
dope,
about that.
bro. I feel like you're being really selfish right now, and you're like he has something to give to this world.
He gives
He's got a lot of joy in his little
He is a
prancing.
joy bringer.
Yeah, bro. So I feel like you're like holding him back from the world. You might just think about that. Yeah.
Shots fired.
Hey. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
So we got a Younghoe online now.
I
He's a big boy.
Stepping up.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
Oh, for
I
sure.
had thought about making him an Instagram. What I was gonna do was I was just gonna get everyone that took pictures of him on there.
I've got a
Everyone is like,
logo.
"Can I get a picture?"
Oh,
of
that
my
would be a
goat?"
cool idea.
And I would just have them post them on. I would never put one on myself. It would only be if everyone else posted.
Hey,
them.
that is an
unique
awesome
idea.
idea.
I definitely
And then
thought of
tag
that.
where you saw
Yeah.
him, like because you guys are going to different states all the
Right.
time and stuff like that. That'd be super cool.
I mean, I was blown away. Like you said, something like y'all were going on a climb and you had Younghoe and they called you the goat lady or something.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't even have him online.
Yeah.
Like how did you be the goat lady? And I mean, I don't know how they could have seen
Outside
you.
of outside of
That's-
your personal account, right? You got him on your personal account.
Yeah, I have pictures of him. but I'm not friends with people I don't know on there. But it would be like, people be like, I've heard about you. This is the goat they were telling me about. And they gasped, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I wasn't expecting all that when I decided, that he was going to be my little buddy,
Oh, we got to spark controversy. And
Oh, shit.
and say that that she robbed him from the wild.
Oh,
Oh,
damn.
you want to see PETA go fucking nuts? then be like, oh, that bitch.
Well, she ain't skinning him, bro. Like, calm down.
Oh, no, they don't like that shit. No matter what it is, it's like,
Really?
yeah, oh, man.
They need to mind their own business.
I mean, that goat probably gets treated better than I do, and they would be like, oh, he should be living his natural life or something like that in the wild. And
He gets
I mean, they
ride in the
have-
front seat of the car and eat snacks and
He lays on my lap
Yeah.
and sleeps and
Go on
crosses his little
adventures.
hooves.
yeah, I mean,
climbs rocks.
it's crazy.
Yeah, we built him a little.
Oh, paddleboard.
Oh,
Y'all had that
yeah.
picture. That
Oh,
one
yeah.
paddleboard picture. That was
Yeah, that's super cool too.
Been to some waterfalls on Lake Jocassee.
Hey, if you go down to
Swim in
Austin,
the
man, y'all need to go
Saluda
do
and
that
Lake
paddleboard
Moultrie.
right there on Town Lake.
Oh,
Bro,
you'd
there's
have
always so many people down there. It's hilarious. It would be
everywhere.
hilarious.
Yeah,
Where?
there would be people like lined up
Yeah.
along
that's how it was
Lady
at
Bird
the
Lake.
beach.
And that was too much for us.
It was a
We're
lot.
not that friendly. We might seem friendly, but we're not that friendly.
No, I'm saying if you paddleboard, they'll be seeing you because they
Oh,
that's where everybody runs down there. And then on one part of it, because I think it's like a 10-mile circle, but on one section it's like a dog park, and all the dogs can just like run and do whatever. They got balls and they chuck them in the little river and everything right there. So like if y'all are like paddleboarding
well, how
in
do
the
they
water,
get their balls into the river? Do they buy them off too?
oh damn!
Circling back. Oh god.
I know. She stopped me in my tracks and in my thoughts. I lost
You
it.
can do that.
Hell yeah, that was tight. Oh man.
Yeah, no, if you started like a Patreon or something like that, they would be able to fund all of your guys' adventures with Younghoe. Like you get to watch him playing in the wake at the beach and like fucking climbing mountains all over Idaho and Utah, and
Oh yeah.
have like little SUV, with his little area in the back and all
No,
that
dude,
kind of
can we actually like do a rent one of those motorcycles with a sidecar? I want to see Younghoe
Yes.
Oh, with
like
a little
on the side
helmet.
with some like goggles or something. You know what I'm saying? His little red sash or whatever, like going down. Yeah, it'd be hilarious. Super funny.
Be great.
Hell yeah.
So you have a pretty unique background, right? So I gotta hear this because you said something earlier, something about being from a cult.
Oh, that was crazy. I never even heard of anything like that.
Oh, surely you have.
No, man. That's
Waco,
crazy.
bitch.
Waco was not fucking rainbow people,
It was a cult.
bro. Yeah, it screamed and smelled like cult. Yeah, I don't take that away. He's always just trying to shit on Texas, and he's fucking born in Texas.
Mm.
You little crackhead, baby.
Was there 2 years and said, "Get
Nigga,
the
you
fuck
were born
out."
Texan. You're either Texan or you're not, and you're Texan.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Montanan.
Nah.
You moved on up.
Yeah, I know, right?
There you go.
I Jake Clampett that shit
Motherfucker,
the other
you
way.
just identify.
We can't help where
You
we
just
come from. but we can help
identify.
where we
You know
end
what I'm
up.
saying?
I have that right nowadays.
Apparently.
Yeah.
So yeah, what was your background? Let's hear this.
So it was so imagine it's like I say it's like the best cult you could have, but it's still a cult, so it's not great, right? It's not like, oh, you need to like poison yourselves and like
Oh,
die,
fuck.
and how there's
Jonestown
some that go all
Massacre kinda shit.
crazy. It's not to that extent, but it's definitely like very, very like oppressive and controlling. And there was like, it's called the Advanced Training Institute International, and there's this guy named Bill Gothard who ran it, and he
So you're like a Scientologist or some shit?
no, he originally worked with like inner city kids and gangs, and I think what happened is that
Oh.
this is my speculation. I think that he became like so upset about like the problems in society that he wanted so bad to create a new type of society that didn't have any of those problems. And so he decided like he was going to start this program, and he like had all these things. So it was like he knew best, right? And that's the problem you have. Like in a
That is
cult
the
is when there's
problem.
one person that knows best and everyone has to do what they say, and they don't get to ask them questions and make their
Sounds
own
a lot
decisions
like
as much.
every religion out
Nah.
there.
Right.
Yeah. And so
Religion.
he kind
Sounds
of
like our government, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you could argue that government's a religion.
Hey,
It
you're
is
right.
now.
No, I'm not gonna fuck with that.
if you like follow anything blindly, that's not
Yeah.
Yeah, but
helpful.
I didn't fucking. I'm not following none of it.
So
None of it, man. I'm
so
stuck
how
with it.
did how did you get involved in all that now?
Well, I was born into this. So
Oh.
I appreciate my parents in ways because they are willing to say like, oh, maybe I think originally it was just like they wanted to homeschool us because they both were school teachers, and they're like, kids waste half their time in school. Why would we make them do it? And since they're both school teachers, mom would stay home and homeschool us, and then dad would still work. So I think it all started out like well intending, but then, how do you find community within that? And so she found this organization, and this cult was like, so you homeschool your kids, like they don't interact really with the world, then they don't all about like getting especially not the girls, like going to college or anything like that. And it's
Does
just
sound very Amish.
yeah, so it's kind of like a mixture between like being Mennonite and Amish, and then just I don't know, just
Mormon,
very.
maybe.
I don't think Mormon is much. I don't know as much about that, but it's very different values, I feel like.
Well, you guys don't worship plates and stuff.
Yeah, we were allowed to change our underwear. Just
Oh.
like we weren't allowed to do much, but we were allowed to change our
Wait,
underwear.
they can't change their underwear?
Who's that?
Like I heard that the Mormons were like they had like holy underwear or
yeah,
something.
you can't take
The-
them
yeah,
off.
they're
the
holy
most-
because they're
Off
fucking
one
wore out.
the
They don't
most-
change them. You know?
the most conservative
Blowing.
Mormons, and then there's a little less conservatives, and I don't know much about that, but
Wow, that's wild.
but yeah, I think that
They be sweating in them big old like dresses and hoods and bonnets and shit.
I guess at some point it'd be holy shit, right?
The fuck yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I remember because I had to wear all these long dresses as a kid. I would try to like help my dad like build like this pump house and stuff. And I remember I was like, basically I tried to climb down the ladder. My dress catcher's on the top, and I was like, bam, just like fall with the ladder like 12 feet over. I didn't break any bones, but there was another day my sister and I, we were going down the steep hill, these tricycles, and she was like, let's go down the hill scooter style on these tricycles. And I was like, how about you do it first, And so she sure enough does. She hops on there, and it's like the dress is so long it like gets caught up in the back wheels. So it's like, and then she's just like flipping like head over tricycle, bam, 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 like attached by her dress.
Dang.
It's definitely,
Yeah, we have actually a lot of Amish. I don't know if they're I suppose they'd be like Mennonite maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what their designation is, but like right down here at the bottom of the hill, and like every day you'll see them riding bicycles and stuff like that. And then one day I saw one of those motherfuckers with a Baku e-bike.
Ah,
And fucking
dang.
cruising with that thing, just and I was like, "Wait a minute,
bro,
I'm
they're
pretty
just keeping,
sure they're not supposed to
they're
have
keeping up the
motorized
front.
shit."
they're keeping up the
But it's
front so they
clean
can keep
energy.
that
Yeah, okay, yeah,
uh,
but yeah, it's
Not everyone that's raised that
That's
way wants
crazy.
to be that way, though.
that's true.
It takes a lot to break out.
That's true. My ex boss and actually, fuck man, that whole business was like ex Amish, and so my ex, the president, vice president of the company were Amish.
wah, 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 wah.
President and vice president were Amish. The one of the project managers was Amish. The head of one of the divisions was Amish at one point, and all of them like ran away or whatever from the Amish community, or what, they escaped from
Rumspringa!
Yeah, exactly.
Woo!
Rumspringa. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's
So how'd you get out?
Well,
Like
Crazy
as a kid
story.
so we
or
used to
adult?
go. to the like it was like an annual meeting, and like the Knoxville, basically the University of Tennessee in Knoxville like hosted they would let them like rent out some space there. So it was like the Thompson Bowling Arena would be in there, and everyone's dressed in their navy and white and shit, and they're like singing hymns and shit, and I don't know. Anyways, I just remember one year I was 9, I believe, and they were like pointing out this like one verse in the Bible. It's like the prayer of Jabez, and they're talking about how you have to cry out to God or He won't unleash His blessings to you and all this stuff. And I was just like, this seems a bit petty to me. I have a hard time like supporting, or I can never worship a God like this. Like, this is ridiculous. I was like, how many people in the world will never get a chance to read this verse? And I was like, this is just sounding a bit ridiculous. I was like, and also there's another verse that says something completely different, And so I'm just like, I'd read the whole Bible at that point, and I was like, yeah, I just can't support this. And at that point, I think I just said, fuck this. And we had little walkie-talkies so we could like find our family members. And I started changing the channel, and I started talking shit to anyone who had like was talking. And I ended up like talking enough shit to this one guy, like we like met, which like you're not allowed to be friends with guys, and so if you're a girl, and vice versa in this. And so I ended up meeting up with him, and we were like both so happy, right? We're like, oh. And I remember we kind of like snuck into like this areas that are like for authorized personnel only, and they have like those, don't they call it like a catwalk? It's like up there where they can like change the lights and work on any of the duct work and all that. And so we're like walking on those things like up at the top of the building during this meeting. And
you like motherfucking escaped that shit. Is that what you're telling me?
I basically just said, fuck this, I'm gonna do what I want during this meeting. And then
okay. Well, I thought she pulled it like,
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Like, so that sounded like some Mission Impossible shit.
Whatever I do.
Yeah. So around that time, I was like, I know I can't make friends in this stupid outfit. So I started like, I would get like $5 at Christmas and $5 for my birthday from one of my grandmas, and so I've been saving that money for a long time. And so what I didn't use on my rose garden that I made, I went and bought clothes from this consignment shop that opened up like half a mile away. And so I had kept them. My mom went all crazy when the Y2K shit hit, and so we had like all these waterproof buckets, and we'd already used some of the grains out of some of them. So I stole one of those buckets, and I put my clothes from the consignment shop into these buckets, and I would like take it into the woods. And I remember I like tied a rope around the tree and like dangled it over the stream edge and like covered the rope in leaves. I was like,
what the fuck? This is like a legit movie.
And so I would go into the woods, and I would change into pants, and then I would ride my bike around the neighborhood that was like a mile away.
That's fucking
And then
insane.
eventually those kids would start talking to me, and so then I started hanging out with those neighbor kids. And so this went on for a while, and then I think when I was 15, then my mom, things weren't going perfectly at the house, and I think a lot of times, people meet a fainting goat. So I was the fainting goat, and she found my. I think by that time I got tired of hiding him in the woods after a few years, and I think maybe she found some pants in one of my drawers.
Just kind of rebelled.
It was like it was slightly less hidden. It wasn't in her face, but it was like maybe I was tired of like all that. And eventually you have to wash them, right?
Yeah.
So I guess she found them, and then she decided I was being like rebellious, and she found like this like high structured camp in Canada.
Oh, that sounds like fucking complete
called
hell.
New Horizons Youth Ministries.
Re-education
camp.
And it's like
re-education camp.
So she sent me to Canada when I was 15 for the summer, and it was like this juvenile delinquent like work camp, but wilderness also. So
Bro, where did they get the money for like all this stuff? I mean, if they're in like this, if they're in a highly controlled area.
Well,
like,
all right, so the Mormons, they're highly controlled.
Really?
But they're like one of the richest.
I heard that, but I'm
one
like,
of the richest religions.
what are they making?
Navy too, I think.
Yeah, like if you go to Salt Lake, I mean,
Yeah, I've heard about it.
half of fucking Salt Lake is owned by the Mormon religion.
their
And,
streets
like,
are
all the
nice.
motels.
I tell you,
Yeah.
Shit.
Hotels.
When was the
I
last time you were in Salt Lake?
like a week ago.
Really?
Yeah!
So
Compared to South Carolina's roads, they're great.
they're actual roads.
Yes,
I
yes.
thought you were talking about like the conditions around Salt Lake, because
Oh,
when I went there, like last year, it was nothing but like tent camps and bum shit all over.
Oh man, that sounds like awesome.
I didn't
I-
see any of that
I
driving in.
I've never
but-
seen
over
any of
by
that
the
either.
Salt Palace and all that kind of
Oh, I
stuff.
haven't been
was,
into the city too much. I usually just go climb in the
oh
canyons
man,
that are
it was
surrounding.
it was nasty. The outsides weren't too bad, but like the inner city, like where the Salt Palace and all that kind of stuff was, yeah, not so much. I'm going there next month, so I'll record
Check
that
it
shit
out.
and
There you
send
go.
it to you guys.
Yup.
and-
Nice.
But yeah, yeah, it's rough. But
So your mom sends you to this place now,
hmm
and I have no idea where she got the money for all this. Like, it sounds like super fancy shit, but so like they send you off to
I
this
don't
hell
know.
camp, and then what happened?
Oh yeah, well, they wanted to like break me down
For
and
real.
then like build me up into what they wanted me to be, and I don't think they realized that I wasn't like necessarily going to just fall for that. They would have us do like these strange things. They called it bringing comments. So we had these rules, like we couldn't walk in and out of any doorways without asking permission. We couldn't. There was different levels, like level 1 to like.
holy
So you
shit!
show up at 0 and you slowly earn like human rights as you go along.
Fuck.
You know, and so it was really.
And what is this? Y'all said
This
y'all
was-
was saying
this
rainbow
wasn't-
people or something.
No.
No.
What
That was
the
something
fuck-
different.
What is this?
What was it called?
This is called New Horizons Youth Ministries.
Okay.
So
Okay,
it's
so it's
still-
like it's just a random.
Yeah. I mean, you could look. I've read some stuff on it afterwards because I was like, when I grow up, I'm gonna get this shit shut down, you know.
Yeah.
But then by the time I grew up, I was too tired to get that shit
Yeah.
shut down. I was like, I'm just gonna try to make people's lives better. Like, it's the best I got, you know.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So what happened at this camp?
Yeah, so basically they were trying to send you through this like corrective program where they want to like psychologically change you, break you down and then turn you into whatever.
Mhm.
They wanted to shift you from being like loyal to your peers to loyal to your authorities.
So basically, like a re-education camp.
Kinda, yeah. And the problem is that like my brain doesn't like work that way. When people try to manipulate me and stuff, I can't.
You can see
I
that
don't do what they
bullshit coming
want.
from a
You know
mile
what I
away.
mean? It's not that I'm just doing what I normally would do, and it's never what they're trying to manipulate me into. Because I'm like, I don't guess I'm like neurotypical perhaps. And so they decided I was difficult, and they told my mom that she needs to send me to the Dominican Republic, where there they could like lock you in solitary confinement and beat you and
Holy
stuff.
shit!
And they
For
didn't.
up to how long?
Oh yeah, so they signed their legal guardianship away. They signed their legal guardianship away, and you're not
Good
considered
damn,
a
man.
legal adult at least at that time until you're 25 in the Dominican Republic. And so I was like 15, and I was like, I'm not gonna. I was like, what if they just keep me here? You know.
Wow.
I was like, I can't do that. So I had like this intricate plan of escape. You know, I was going to like have an extra.
What
change
state
of
was
clothes.
this?
This was in Canada. So the reason they
shit.
put these things in other and like because Canada
Other
had less
countries.
child labor laws, so it was like they could get around, they could get
That's
away
where
with
they
doing
got all that
more.
fucking money. It was China, bro. Straight up, they made the little kids work. They told everybody what the fuck to do. They didn't own no rights. They had to wear certain dresses and shit. Fucking throwing little tea parties and shit. Like,
wow,
what the?
that's nuts. So
Bro,
how did you?
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah. So what was this like intricate plan? I mean, how did?
Yeah, well, luckily I didn't have to use my intricate plan because they did give me like a 2-day parent visit between like when the Canada segment ended and then I was supposed to apply to the Dominican Republic. And like my intricate plan, it wasn't that intricate to be honest, but it was pretty intricate for what I was working with. Was going to have a change of clothes, and then I was going to I think I had like just enough money for like food. They were going to give me like however like $15 or something for food. And so my plan was I was going to be like, I need to go to the restroom. I was going to go like climb up on the toilet, change out my clothes. I was going to change my hair enough to where I might be able to throw off whoever was supposed to be watching me. And I was going to bolt out of there with that money, find the nearest taxi and tell them take me as far as you can with this. And then I was just going to hitchhike my way. I was like, I'm not going there.
And you
So-
said 13?
15.
15. God.
Yeah. So that was my plan. But so my parents did come to visit. And so I talked to my mom and I was like, look, Mom, I was like, I was like, I don't want to go to the Dominican Republic. I was like, I don't know. I was like, this place I don't know if you know what these people are doing, but it's not good. Like, I don't know how much research you did. Like, you might have had good intentions, but I don't think you understand, like, these people are not, helping me. And she's like, she was like, oh, you don't want to go to the Dominican Republic? Because they try to, like, make it sound like you're going to have a good time, too.
Yeah.
They're not
They're
honest.
putting you together.
They make you write a letter every week, and if you say anything bad about the program, then they make you do like exercises, and your whole cabin do them.
I'm
Or
over
you
this.
Wow.
you aren't allowed to eat until you change your letter.
Holy crap.
That's like really messed up.
Yeah, no shit.
Hey, my question is like, when did this come out for you? And you just be like,
Oh,
Yeah.
I've heard the stories, man. Yeah, I've heard it before. It was definitely a surprise. I mean,
It's
were you like, hey, no bullshit? Yeah, like
I honestly believe her. Like,
no, I 100% believe
yeah.
it. I'll be like, if somebody like laid that on me, I'll be like, you fucking with me? You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I
Like, no
ask
bullshit.
clarifying questions to things.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
like, because like I was born in, into a religious family too, but it wasn't quite a cult. It was fundamental Baptist, but it's a fine line. You
Man,
know?
yeah.
I think the line is drawn when there's
Bro, at
one
least
person
where
that
you
has.
go, they have good songs and shit. I mean, they're
Yeah, we
dancing
got-
and fucking eating afterwards, man. It's all gravy, baby.
right.
Yeah.
Shoot,
Yeah.
you had
Get
it.
some
You
good
had it
home
good.
cooking, you know,
Yeah.
but-
They're not
Dude,
starving the
my-
kids because they
Yeah.
don't believe what you believe.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
It
Bro, I
wasn't like
can't-
that. Yeah, messed up, but yeah, it was a shock.
Wow,
But-
that is freaking nuts. So your parents actually pulled you out of the program?
So, well, I had a conversation with my mom, and I said, hey, like, because I knew she cared, and I knew that she meant well, but I also knew that she was too easily swayed by like the first piece of information she would get. She was like too dreamy. Like, she thought like, oh, she couldn't believe that people would lie to her, or want to take advantage of her. She was very, gullible, and she also needed like an easy out. I feel like she something stressful instead of like, being willing to like kind of figure out how to work through that and stuff. She just needed like an easy answer that was going to be like the right answer, and so it's hard for her to like take in like new information. So once she had her mind made up about something, it's like you couldn't talk her logic into her,
Right.
So I didn't really take it that she was like intending to like send me off to this like abusive camp. I think that she was trying to she was just trying to do something she thought would work well, and she didn't understand because she'd raised us in that way, and she didn't realize like how much of our needs weren't being met by being raised that way and all that stuff, and so she wanted to believe that I was the problem instead of the cult and the whole situation being the problem. So I talked to her and I was like, look, I'm not going to the Dominican Republic. I was like, I'm going to do everything I can not to. I was like, and you're not going to see me at least until I'm 25, if ever again. Because you signed away your legal guardianship to me. And I said,
She did that?
yeah, whenever they sent me to Canada, they had to sign their legal
Oh,
guardianship.
Wow.
Yeah.
Got her.
And so
That's nuts.
and I told her, I was like, if you'll be reasonable, I'll be reasonable. I said, because she's like, well, I guess she said I could come home. I was like, if things are going to be the way they've been, I don't want to come home either. And she was like, what? And I said, if you'll be reasonable, I'll be reasonable. I said, the things that I'm wanting, I was like, most parents would be proud of their kids for wanting. I was like, I want to drive a car. I want to have a job. I want to have friends. I want to go to school. I was
I
like,
don't want to fucking live in Saudi Arabia.
I don't want to fucking live. I don't want to live in this fucking house with the same 6 people, with no education hardly and no opportunities, and and I didn't say that to her though.
Right.
And so she said, well, I'll think about it. And so she actually ended up we used to volunteer at this like health food co-op.
Mhm.
And so the lady who ran that co-op also was a principal at like a private Christian school in 6 Mile. And so my mom, we needed like, I guess like records and transcripts and stuff in order to get like into a school. So she talked to her and asked her like, hey, would you let Amy come there so she can get like transcripts so she could potentially go to like a public school. And so she agreed to do that. So I came back, she brought me back. And then after that, then me and my 2 younger siblings started going to that private school, and then we transitioned into public school.
Wow. So that wouldn't have been too long then that you were in public school, because you were
Just
15 when you left Canada,
2
right?
years, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So you only did like 2 years in the public school system.
Mm-hmm.
That's unbelievable. That
I only did 2 as well. So
You did
Look at
4
us.
times.
that's freaking crazy. So what kind of relationship do you have with your parents now? Or is it still
Um,
contentious, or
No, I think for a while they were kind of confused and maybe worried about me. Like, what's wrong? What's wrong with Amy? Why is she like off climbing these mountains and
she's a
spinning
vagabond?
fire with a hula hoop? And I think that a lot of people they're scared of things they don't understand, and they like want to like decide something negative about them. But I think over the years, they started like now I think they're like I think they're proud of me. Like they appreciate me for like my individuality and like my willingness to like stand up for the things that matter to me. And they have like pictures of me with my fire hoop, and they like I hang out with my dad more than my mom, just because like my mom's still pretty religious. She wears pants now, and listens
But
to
they're still like attached
she-
to that cult.
she's not. And surprisingly, like my oldest sister, who was like took that thing way farther than anyone else, she moved to
She
Russia
dipped.
and everything. She messaged me like 3 years ago, and she was like, "I'm convinced that we were raised in a cult." And I was like, "Yeah, I've been telling that since I was 9 years old. Glad you're on the same page, And then she was like, "But I still think you're going to hell." And I was like, "All right, wonderful." No.
Yeah. You first, bitch.
I was like, "Guess we're not on the same page after all."
Wow.
But
Trash.
Wow. That
but-
is absolutely crazy. So that's basically what led you to. Well, it seems like psychologically that's kind of what led you to want to explore like all these different places, right?
Maybe. I think we would drive past, like, we would drive through the Smokies on our way to Knoxville, and I always looked at those mountains. I was like, I think it's just in who I am. Like, I wanted to climb the mountains, Like, I used to try to convince the neighbor kids to, like, ride with me. There was this rock quarry. I was like, we can go to the rock quarry. We can climb up those hills. And they never would. And I was like, so it took a long
miss me with that,
time.
man. I ain't climbing that, man.
It took me a long time to find people who would climb with me,
I'm gonna roll my big ass right off that cliff.
Well, you ended up with Jackson. You drug him across the United States and,
yes, sir.
and brought him climbing.
I know.
So, what's your story? Like, how did you get into all this? And I mean,
all
did you
of
join?
this, Amy?
You joined the same cult, or?
Oh, yeah,
Hey,
better at
he
the,
drank the
at the
juice.
tent reunion, Or
Well, at least the
old,
juice wasn't deadly. I mean-
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Fundamental
They
Baptist.
just wanted to make sure that they
Greenville,
were
South
willing.
Carolina, my whole life. Lived in France for a year. We drove across the country when I was 5. So 5 to 6 years old, we were traveling to like every church in almost the whole country. And like just like raising money to go to Africa. So, and then went to France to learn, French, because that's what they speak in Senegal. And then we were there for about a year, and then my parents divorced, and then we came back to the States.
So, parlez-vous français?
Un petit peu.
Okay.
Hey.
Cool.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't remember very much, though, honestly. That was like 20 years ago, so
Nice.
not recently.
Yeah. So you said you were a guide, but I don't know. You guys said that you guys are guides, but it was like, okay, well, what are you guides in? Because you talk about like all these different activities. Are you guides for like climbing and like all these
We just
different
have a lot of
things, or-
hobbies, but the only thing that I have guided is river guiding, and then I did historical interpreting, and I was a like farm guide, and I take people through the farm and explain everything.
So what is historical interpreting?
For what I was doing was a colonial farm in McLean, Virginia, which unfortunately shut down now, but it was a colonial time period. The date that we were supposed to be representing was 1771, so that was like one of the last years that
Right
it was
before
still
the-
like
Yeah.
a colony of Britain. So it's kind of like unique. Most like places don't talk about that, so it's kind of cool to learn that part. But yeah, so I just walk around with the animals and just show everybody the plants and how we'd like do daily life as like a poor person, not like a
Bro.
rich like Williamsburg person.
I
He's got all
appreciate you
kind of
showing
money.
me the plants today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They
Yep,
came in
yep.
clutch, man.
Homegrown.
Yeah, we
Yes,
just
son.
grew tobacco up there though, unfortunately. But yeah,
That's
Orinoco.
cool. So you did it in a traditional colonial way.
Yeah, everything was done. Like I had to read a book.
So you had slaves and all that too. and-
No. This is the tenant farm. So like tenant farmers weren't legally allowed to own slaves. So like you're
Oh, wow.
like so like poor off that like basically you had to like have as many kids as possible to run your farm to
Yeah.
actually make it.
Gotcha.
More
So it's
child
like-
labor law issues.
Exactly.
That's why y'all get along.
But so that was the thing. Oh shit, I lost what I was saying there.
All the kids, so you could survive.
Oh yes, so many
It's 'cause
kids.
I
But
got high.
yeah, you
'Cause
weren't
I
allowed to
got
have.
high. 'Cause I got high.
Drugs are bad.
Drugs bad.
so you
Okay.
know.
Ruin your life. Okay.
That's tight.
But yeah, you weren't allowed to. But everybody would ask me, they're like, "Are you a slave? Are you?" I'm like, no, I'm a tenant farmer. Like everyone's like, that's what everyone thinks. Like slaves were the only people that worked in the field. It's like not true at all. Everybody was out there working in the field. The poor people were. So
Huh.
that's what you had to do. But
That's
we had to
pretty
be subsistent and then also have your cash crop. So that was tobacco. So, which wasn't a very good crop in 1771.
Because your wife let him die.
Oh yeah, my farm wife in the story role. I found out my first day at the job that I was gonna be married to Jackie, who was in the office there next to me, and I was like, "Oh God!" they're like, "Jackson, and your wife is Jackie." I was like, "Wait, what? What are you talking about?"
From 1771.
Yeah, in 1771, I was Nathaniel, and she was Silence.
What the fuck
So,
are you talking
yeah.
Her
about?
name was
Silence.
Silence.
Her name is Silence. She picked it. I don't know why, but
Oh wow.
you had to choose like historically accurate names.
So she was from the same cult.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for she never broke out of it.
She was Catholic, so
Mm.
Oh, it's making
Anyways.
sense.
it's all
Yeah.
coming together now. But yeah, a bunch of homeschooly type people worked there, honestly. But it was still really fun though. Everyone's like a big nerd, but it was so fun to just like talk about stuff. Like we'd go hang out after work. We'd have like kegs of beer on on tap, ready to go, like in the bookstore. And I'd just like talk about some history stuff.
So you guys had like it was a regular life outside of that then.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it wasn't like you had
No,
to
no,
live
no.
this role. Like,
No.
24/7.
No,
Yeah.
after 5 o'clock, man, it's
Once
all
you go to-
it's all
when you go to
over.
bed.
Oh, okay.
It's like that South Park episode, Super Fun Time, like where they go to 1864. I'd make those jokes all the time, but yeah, after 5 o'clock, they just completely go out of character. They're like, okay, whatever. But yeah, it's first person interpretation. Like most of the time, I'd do third person interpretation, like at different events that I do, like blacksmithing and pewter casting, like molds and stuff. But yeah, first person's a little trickier because like you can only use certain words and like you can't say okay because that wasn't a slang, slang
Okay.
yet. Hello wasn't even a thing yet either, so you'd have to say good day. It works for hello or goodbye. So you say good day is either
Yeah,
one,
there
so
you
it's kind
go.
of nice and simple.
Good day.
But yeah,
I just think
indeed
it's
instead
an
of
angry
like
person stomping
yeah
around.
okay, be like indeed, like say that all the time. Like it's really funny. Like
Has
yeah.
any of that like carried over to
Oh, yeah.
how you talk now? Or?
I think at some point, like I didn't go as like into it as some people would, because like some people were ultra into that, like that time period, and like I like it, but I slip up.
Were they
I
more
get
like the
comfortable.
Dungeons and Dragons
Yes,
kind of people?
exactly that type. Yes, yes, for sure. But
I could fully see that. So when I did
So we're talking about Comic
it's
Con.
like split personality almost. I'd be
Yeah.
like, I'd live in my camper in the woods, and
yeah.
just like I'm Nathaniel all the time.
Well, when I was doing automation and stuff like that at that other job, I had my crew partner. He was like all into those board games and Dungeons and Dragons, and he
yeah.
had like if you got him like he didn't talk to anybody, but if you started getting him talking about like those different games and stuff, like he like took on a whole nother
You get super
personality.
animated.
Yeah, whole nother personality. Like, and he tried to explain that shit to me, and I was just like,
Well, I can explain it to you very well. Look, check this out.
please don't.
Look, check this out. So sometimes, like when little boys hit puberty, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna go one way or another. They're either gonna go after the pussy or they're gonna get Dungeons and Dragons. You gotta start with Dungeons and Dragons, you know what I'm saying? Like poor him.
Well,
Yeah.
so he was like his family was like ultra religious, like
Oh,
That was his
Right.
escape.
right there, and yeah, I think that's
Right
Video
next
games
door to
for
the
me.
cult.
yeah.
he was a really smart guy, but he was very like just walk the line kind of guy, and but yeah, he was all into that Dungeons and Dragons and like those different like role playing games and stuff like that, not the kind that you and your wife are used to.
Hey,
But
no
Just
judgment.
me and my zebra
This is a
onesie.
no judgment zone.
I'm not
son. Like, calm
judging.
down.
I'm not
Calm
judging.
down.
But yeah, so he would
I'm just saying,
like,
that
he
cat
had-
suit, boy, she
well,
looks...
he had like all kinds of like costumes apparently, and like he got into
like
it.
Bruce Jenner.
Not I haven't known.
No,
I don't know.
No.
But no, like he had like all kinds of
Cancel.
costumes and stuff, like Comic-Con kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
some of those
I know what
people
you're
like
talking about.
really
People
get into
go
that.
All in, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, I think it was like his escape. But
Mhm.
that's crazy.
No
So
judgment.
so what's your guys' next step? Where are you guys going?
Oh,
I mean, after we set up a Patreon and Facebook page and Instagram and stuff like that for Younghoe.
we're gonna go climb. I'll tell you what's cool. 7-pitch route in Wyoming near Cody.
I'll
That's
tell you
awesome.
what's cool.
Yup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Find out.
Right
This
over
last
there.
one was too much fun, and I couldn't really say the same.
Yeah.
It was a little too much fun,
he's like hyperventilating thinking about it.
Yeah.
I know. I made him
Yeah.
promise me.
Oh,
He'll make it all.
He's
yeah,
not in the
we'll
right
do
state
it.
of mind to, like, handle this pressure right
we'll
now.
Yeah.
do it.
We figured out a few things like no coffee.
Yeah, I think
And
it makes
no
me too
weed.
jittery and like overthinking stuff too.
Really?
I thought it would help me, but it really doesn't. Like every
No.
time that I haven't had like caffeine, it seems like a lot more like I just flow better. I
Yeah,
don't know.
because you
'Cause
gotta
you're not trying
be.
to race up. You're
You
trying
gotta
to
be calm.
strategize.
You
So.
can't be in your because I mean honestly, caffeine like stimulates your it
I love
squeezes a little
caffeine.
juice out of your adrenals. It's like a little bit of adrenaline going through your body, but you need to be feeling calm. Like when I get up there, if I get scared, my leg starts shaking or something. It's like they call it the Elvis leg. I'll be like take the deepest breaths I
I'm a
can, and I'll
yogi.
manually tap back into the parasympathetic nervous system, and in that time,
I'm a fat
then
yogi.
you can just
Yogi the bear.
like like Buddha,
Yeah, there you go. That's more
Yes.
like it.
Yeah.
He does kind of have that Buddha look.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got
he
the good
does.
smile and all that,
Yeah, boy.
But
Somebody rub my belly.
Well,
Hey.
I mean, you.
Say, bro.
I mean, you pretty
Hey,
much.
just give me your 10th, bitch, and shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? How you like that? That was calm, cool, and collected.
You pretty much got like your belly rubbed or whatever.
Oh, on my belly, man. My sciatic nerve, son. I'm a bitch. That hurt, bro. Today hurt.
So how did all that work for you? Like, because she did a bunch
I crack
she
on
did a bunch
people.
of things.
Yeah,
like
I crack on people, and I was like, man, they're doing quackery, but like those cups. My wife was telling me about that. I guess Mexico people do that, and then you started doing it. I was like, what suction cup's gonna do? And man, yeah, quack quack, motherfucker. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Well, what about the
It,
yoga?
like it felt like, oh man, well I'm fat, so I did my best, but like, yeah, because I I think this has been a problem for probably a year and a half or longer, and so I think I've just gotten even more tight and more tight and more tight and more tight, and so yeah, that yoga, man, that opened everything up. Like my hips, because they're super tight, and just barely walking would set off that nerve, and yeah, it hurt like a motherfucker today. I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna cry, but I'm not gonna cry out loud.
Strong.
Yeah, just
I feel like
dear.
you would really get
Yeah.
along well with my buddy Brooks Tiller. He's a doctor there in Tennessee, but like a doctor in sports medicine,
Okay.
physical therapy. But he does physical therapy for like high level athletes and stuff like that.
That sounds cool.
And he's very into kinesiology
Mhm.
and movement of the body, all that kind of stuff. I think
So,
you
yeah,
guys,
that was
and
the
he
big
breathes
thing.
fire. He does the fire breathing
Oh,
thing.
No way.
and
Nice.
the
One
circus
of your
stuff and all that.
people.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, his wife does that stuff too. I don't remember specifically what she does, like what her act is or whatever
Mhm.
with that, but yeah, I remember he breathes fire and she does maybe some sort of acrobatics or something. I can't remember.
In the process of making a fire staff. That's what it's called, right?
Mhm. Or the dragon
Or
staff.
dragon staff. Sorry, I keep calling
It's
it that.
like you put fire on it too.
Yeah,
So there's like a
it's
staff.
a long pole, and then you got like two metal ends. I welded like some like steel wraps on the end, and I'm gonna put like little wicks on the outside, so you have like 5 or 6 on each side, so you can like spin it around. Like
So when you do the tricks, but you can also like roll it on your arm, so then the sides are like.
so we'll both
Oh,
be
So
able
you can
to
roll
nice.
it and you can like
slinging
roll
fire.
it down your back, but then you can also do the
That's
regular
some real
staff
hippie
tricks where you
shit.
like toss it around
Bro,
and stuff.
y'all
Yeah.
the real hippies, man. I know I counted y'all out earlier when I first met
Yeah.
you.
You better
It's like they're
you better
faking- they're
keep your
faking the
hair up
funk.
or whatever.
Oh yeah, I
right?
always wet my hair
Exactly.
down. I think the way I do things is like frowned upon in the fire spinning community. They're like, you need to have fire safety at all times, like someone with a towel near you, and all these weird rules. And I'm like, I'll just like take off as many clothes as I can, and then wet my hair down, and I'm not gonna catch on fire.
I've
So
seen
you'd
her
be
do
like
it.
doing it naked?
I have like
No.
some shorts and like a
Because I
sports
feel
bra.
like that would be a great stripper act.
That'd be crazy.
She says she cups herself naked.
I do.
That's what she
Well, I
said.
mean,
Sure
you're
do.
not gonna cup yourself through your clothes.
Sometimes when Jackson texts me, he's like, "What's up?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm laying in bed cupping myself."
Cup yourself.
Speaking
Real
of
good.
which, speaking of doing things with yourself, so you you taught me something.
Oh,
no,
shit.
no. For like the backcountry, you were talking about the coconut oil because
Yeah,
we were
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
Oh,
after
yeah.
a certain amount of days, you're all smelling your junk like
Mhm.
just by a waft, and
Oh,
it's
that ain't
like
what you said earlier. So.
man. No, I said after a while you end up smelling your ball sack and you're like, "Bleh, bleh,"
Yeah, you said something like that, and you were like, yeah.
From under.
Yeah, the
Oh, yeah,
Famunda
the
cheese.
Famunda cheese. Yeah,
Which-
yeah.
I don't know if I should let it out on a podcast, but
You already,
got
talked,
a-
you already
We are.
talked about your dirty dick, so I
No,
mean, like,
that-
what?
no.
What could be worse than that?
so I've got a line of soap.
Dun dun dun.
No, I got a line of holistic soap that I myself and my brother-in-law have been developing, and the name of it we're gonna call Famunda soap,
Oh god.
and it's biodegradable
Does it
stuff
look like
that.
cheese when you buy it?
No.
It
It's
should be wrapped up like some Wisconsin cheese.
So-
or something.
Yeah.
so I mean we have a label design and all that kind of stuff for it.
Holy
But
Swiss.
the tagline is gonna say takes care of that thunder from down under.
That's
Oh,
good,
shit.
man.
I should
But-
have patented this, man. You just, well, I guess you done
Seriously,
fucked that now.
Yeah, I know, right? We're working on it though.
You just gave that away.
But yeah, so you were saying coconut oil though.
Yeah.
So like how much coconut oil do you carry in the like how long do you normally stay out?
I mean, I went out. Well, I one time did like the Outward Bound Instructor Development Program. We were out for 50 days. We did do like, I guess 9 of those days were more like in the cabin. because we did like our wilderness first responder certification, but we were mainly out like backpacking. But we'd go on like maybe like a week and a half to 2.5 week long things where we'd pack out all the food and stuff for that. You don't need a lot. I just bring like a little jar or a little bottle that's like a few ounces, and then
It goes a long way.
yeah, you just put a little bit on like a paper towel or some toilet paper or something.
And just wipe yourself down.
Even maybe I feel like the handkerchief would get really dirty because it doesn't really come out very easily.
So,
I didn't use like handkerchiefs.
So is it like I'm gonna end up trying it, but before I do, I want to kind of prepare myself mentally because, because I'm thinking like you rub yourself down with this oil and stuff like that, and it's gonna be like all kinds of residue and feel all like nasty and all that kind of stuff.
Sounds like you need a towel now.
Well, I mean, it might be a little different for me, but some of it soaks into the skin, and you can rub the excess off with like a toilet paper or something. So it's like you use it on the paper. Like, so if you get it on like toilet paper or something, and like let's say you just rub your arm, right? You're gonna look, and there's gonna be dirt all over that toilet paper, and then your arm's gonna be just a little more moisturized because it's not like you're like smearing a ton of oil on yourself. So it's like, how dirty are you? You might need to do it a couple times, but it's nothing.
Okay, so you're wiping off the excess. It's not like you're
exactly
leaving it on and just.
But it's like you don't.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Instead of soap, it's that because you don't want to dry yourself out and
Gotcha. Okay, so now I understand the application. It's not like you're just rubbing it on like lotion or whatever and then leave it.
No, I have like a little piece of toilet paper or something.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense.
Something else I do that's a little odd is like I've noticed I use like if I don't have toilet paper. And if I have enough underwear, I'll use like the side of like my dirty pair of underwear.
What the fuck?
And then I'll just put it in a different, because you're gonna wash it anyways. So it's like,
that's hardcore.
That's something you can do.
Say that again now.
If you don't have like, let's say you don't have enough toilet paper or something, you could use like, I don't know how many pairs of underwear you usually bring, but I usually bring more than one.
It depends how many days I'm going out there,
exactly.
But I usually bring it. If I'm out there for maybe 10, 12 days, I might bring three. I'll have one that I'm wearing, obviously, and then I might bring 2 pair.
Yeah.
It just depends on what the weather's going to be and like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, they make those great designed ones where they're like, like the breathable, like quick dry.
Yeah.
And I think they even treat some of them with like antimicrobial stuff, So, like, some of them, like, you don't really need that. But what I'm saying is that occasionally, like, if I have extras, then I'm going to change them. If I was out of toilet paper, I could use, like the side of your underwear. So not the part that was, like, in the crotch, but that part. And it's, like, an extra piece of cloth. It's going to get washed anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I suppose that works.
Yeah.
Or, I always bring a shemagh with me.
Yeah.
Old t-shirt. You know what a shemagh is?
No.
It's basically like a giant handkerchief that,
I just think that if you keep using that handkerchief, like it depends on how much soap and stuff you're bringing, because the coconut oil is not going to just wash out of cloth because it's not water soluble.
Oh, that's true.
So I wouldn't recommend I wouldn't really recommend using something you're going to keep on using and not be able to wash it thoroughly.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, cool. So, where can people find Younghoe?
Right now, Younghoe's at the farm. It's
doing farm shit.
Yep.
With the donkeys and horses.
He's still gonna love me when I get back, though. I know.
He likes it there.
Yeah, I got really lucky. One of my clients has a friend with a 5-acre farm, and whenever I was moving from one house to the next, I was waiting for like Jackson to get his little house built, and like we were gonna put a fence up and stuff, but it wasn't quite ready. So for a few weeks, then he needed like another place to stay. And so she ended up asking her, I have this friend with a goat. Can she maybe potentially bring him by to see if he gets along with the horse and the donkeys? And if so, maybe he could stay there. And she was like, yeah, we can try it out. So he came by, and, the donkeys didn't really care. They're a little extra aloof. And the horse was like making these weird noises and just like clop, 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 like chasing him around. And first Younghoe was like, meh, like running as fast as he could, and then he'd get out of breath and he would stop, and the horse would stop like as far away as you are from me. It's like 5 feet. And Yeah, so then Younghoe began to realize, like, oh, he's not actually trying to hurt me. He's trying to hang out. And the horse would like make these little noises and stuff. And
Little
then,
goat had a horse.
so him and Younghoe, Vivian and Younghoe are like best pals. So, it was funny. So then she wanted me to like keep bringing him around, and then so it ends up that he gets along great with the animals, and he's happy there. And so it's nice that if I want to go out of town, that I have somewhere that he can go where I know he's like well taken care of and has friends, and because like those large livestock, like the wild animals aren't going to come bother them. They'll stomp them down. So I know he's like safe and has good company and all that. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
So where can people find you? Because so everybody knows, like, she gives amazing freaking massage. Like, if you want a good deep tissue massage and stuff like that, Amy gives some amazing deep tissue massages. So you want to plug yourself for that?
What do you mean by that?
Like let people know where they can find you or get a hold of you or whatever.
So it's all basically, I have several different places of work. One place that I've worked the longest is River Falls Spa, downtown Greenville, and that's really the only place that I accept like strangers, I'd say. Then I work at the Cliffs Wellness Center, so I work at Glassy Valley and now Mountain Park as well. So I teach yoga there and I do massages on clients. But then I also went and got trained for Ashiatsu massage, so I can use my feet. So for like people that are like maybe bodybuilders or like really, really large, or even there's some smaller people and it's just like larger muscle groups, I can do more effective treatments on them with actually like less, I guess, less taxing on my body, less repetitive motion on the hands. So it's been really exciting to kind of work with people who I already was working with, that I might have been working with for a few years. And it would be like I was kind of managing their problem, but every time I came back, it was not really better. It was just like this like stagnation in their healing process. But once I started doing the Ashiatsu, I started seeing like improvement in like especially these like larger muscle group people, like guys with like low back issues in particular. It was like I was able to get into all of those lower body muscles, like the glutes and the hamstrings and the quads and the adductors, and that's one of the most neglected groups. So what ended up happening is a lot of my jobs said they were going to have Ashiatsu bars, and then none of them like installed me any. So I had to go on like a 2-year hunt and I finally found someone that had like the machine and the space to be able to like build me some, because I wanted them to be portable so I could take them to events also, because before like the whole coronavirus thing hit, I was planning to go to mountain biking events and like set up my stuff there and work on those folks. But ended up I just got an office at the Taylor's Mill, a studio that I share there. So I'm in half of the room and I share days because I'm not going to work there every day since I have all these other jobs. So I have that set up there and I see like my old clients and then any of their friends. So it's all word of mouth. So if the only way you can really get in touch is if you text me and you have to tell me who gave you my number.
Yeah.
So
Creeper.
You gotta be in the circle.
Yep. You gotta.
Found you on Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook.com/goat lady.
Yeah. But Jackson, you said you do construction, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep, been doing that, and the last like real job, I guess, other than working for myself, the past 2 years was guiding on the Nantahala. That was my 3rd year doing that, and before that, I was in Alaska for 2 summers. Well, really about 6 months each time. So, but now, yeah, I'm doing construction, renovations, ironwork, carpentry, deck building, fence building. Yeah.
All there down in the
Well,
Greenville
shit.
area. So
Yeah,
how can
pretty much.
How can people get a hold of you?
I have
Send unsolicited deck pics.
I do send. Yeah.
He'll trim the bushes back so it looks bigger.
Yeah, makes my deck look better. Hey, wood's expensive these days. All right, you gotta make work with what you got. But
Oh, you ever seen that Manscaped video?
I don't know.
Say, bro, those things are real. Those things are legit.
That is hilarious.
Those fucking things are legit.
That's hilarious. I'll show you the video here in a little while.
No Nick Balls, son.
Yeah. Oh man, it's hilarious. But anyway, so where can people find you?
On Instagram, I haven't been keeping up with Facebook because it's such a pain. I'm not too happy with them, honestly. So I just use Instagram right now. Foothills Trade Works is my page, so check it out.
Sweet deal.
That's where I put all my stuff.
Well,
All my work stuff, my personal is A Ramblin' Man. So that's got all my regular adventure stuff.
I believe that.
That's I put all my hunting stuff on that page too. So I mean that's on my personal, not on the work page. So
awesome.
I just
That's
did work
badass.
stuff there. But
Well, I have enjoyed y'all, man.
yeah, absolutely. It's been a lot of fun. This thing's been like
It's been like 3 days of this nonstop.
yeah,
Yeah.
like nonstop laughs
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. Super
So
cool.
I
having
came
you
up
guys
here. I
on.
flew up here to work. Some hippies walked through the door.
But we're not
And it
real
was-
hippies, though.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that. Do you remember why I said y'all weren't real hippies?
Because
Oh,
because
no,
the
I said
armpit-
that today. Oh, yeah, I did say that today.
Like hairy
Yeah,
armpits
oh,
or
dude,
something
I
like
hate
that.
hairy armpits. And man, I'm sorry, I do, but I can't fucking help
you know,
it.
we all hate what we hate.
And I
It's okay.
would avoid looking at her arms because
He was
I did.
scared.
Yes, I didn't want to
you
be
saw the
like.
dreads, but you weren't expecting that.
I'm cool with dreads, bro. Like unless I have to smell, if like they smell, like you've been around some people that like they smell.
Yeah,
Now
right.
she's
I'll
like,
wash mine. Don't
No,
worry.
no. Yeah, no, that's fine. It's perfect. Yeah,
You show them what you do for a
yeah.
mask.
Oh, yeah. So during this
I don't know
silly
if you do
Oh,
it with
hell.
the microphone
I
or
was
not.
just like tie it right around my mouth, and I go into the gas stations, and the people would try to keep a straight face. You know, it might be like
Oh my
$20
God.
on pump set, and they'd be like, we
very
just bust
hilarious.
out laughing. It was so fun.
Yeah. But yeah, so like for 2 days I was looking dead in her eyes, like probably like strangely, because I didn't want to like, oh, and make a face.
Yeah.
And then she goes, "Hey," and I was like, "Oh, damn, praise God."
I didn't even know I did that, or like there was no good reason. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's
You
just,
never know.
yeah. You're in the moment.
Yep. So I
Awesome.
like to try to be that way, you know, or
Yeah.
like not even try, but just be that way.
I think Jackson said brownies, bro, and you were just like,
awesome. Well, thank you for being on. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
"Thank you guys."
Thank you for listening to the Primitive Republic podcast, an Aaron Schmaus media production. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Primitive Republic. You can also find us on our website at www.archeryoutdoorsman.com.